Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing really well. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my fragrance collection after several requests to do kind of a walkthrough of my fragrances. Generally speaking, they are in the back corner here on my dresser. And so many of you are curious, what do I have and what do I think about them? So today we're going to be walking through all of my fragrances in my collection, and I'm going to be taking it up a notch and actually ranking them. So what I have done is I've created 3 different criteria where I've scored each of my fragrances, and so we're going to be talking about them from the lowest scoring or my least favorite in my collection all the way up to my tip top absolute favorite, which got a perfect score, by the way. Got a perfect score because it's just that good. Of course, I love all the fragrances that we're going to be talking about, but I thought it would be fun to rank them. But before we get into all those details, I do just need to say a massive thank you to today's sponsor. If you're not familiar, I'm actually doing a year-long partnership with Louisa, which is just something that is so incredibly surreal and special to me. It's so nice to have a brand like Louisa invest in me and invest in my channel, and of course I want to share their pieces and share their story with you through this year. Working with them does allow me to bring more interesting content to my channel like today's video, so I am so grateful for the sponsorship. Of course, if you're not familiar with Louisa, I do just want to share with you a little bit of information about the brand. They are a carbon neutral jewelry brand which is based out of New York. Their pieces are extremely high quality and they are pretty affordable as well. They begin at $39 US, which is about, I think, like $50 Canadian. And today I want to share with you 3 pieces that I am so excited about. All of these styles are available in both silver and in gold, no matter what your preference is. That is something that I have seen in the comments previously on sponsored videos, that it seems like Louisa only has gold jewelry, but that is absolutely not the case. They do have many styles coming out in silver now. So all 3 of these pieces I'm wearing are silver because I feel like that is just perfect for the holiday season. It just feels like frosty and crisp. But they do come in gold, and honestly, I'm curious about getting all of them in gold because they're just perfect kind of staple items. These are all pieces that you can dress up, dress down. They could be edgy, they could be sophisticated, whatever kind of vibe you're going for. These just would be perfect, every single one of these. And I cannot wait to pair these with all different types of looks, makeup looks, fashion, everything. Today I have on 2 pairs of Huggies. One is the Guilia here in the front, which is just like more of your traditional kind of Huggie style, which is just a very clean sort of silhouette. And then the other one at the back here is the Suzanne, which has cubic zirconia. So it adds a little bit of interest and a little bit of texture as well. I love the way that they pair together, and of course I love them both independently as well, or paired with other statement earrings as well. And then I also am wearing a bracelet right here. This is an adjustable bangle, and this piece is called the Arlo. This is a gorgeous simple band kind of bangle. It is adjustable, so you can actually just kind of pinch it together. It's super high quality, so you're not going to ruin it by trying to adjust the size. I did actually adjust it myself just so that it wasn't sliding around too much today, but I do actually really love the way that this looks with a more kind of dressed up look like I'm wearing today, but I think this would look phenomenal with just like a plain t-shirt and jeans too. All of these pieces would just be perfect with every and any look. I am so excited to announce that my discount code has been increased to 20% off of your order, so you can shop through the link in my description box or use the code RebeccaM20 to get 20% off now, which is exciting, especially as we're heading into the holiday season. So if you want to gift yourself something new, or somebody else in your life, your loved ones, your friends and family, you want to give them the gift of high quality, sustainable jewelry, definitely do that using that discount code, of course. So without further ado, let's hop on into the rankings. I'm so excited to share with you all 5 of my fragrances. Like I said in the introduction, I do have a little bit of a scoring system. So there are 3 different metrics, all with a maximum score of 5, bringing me to a total of 15. So the first one is scent, of course. We need to definitely measure that. Next is lasting power, and then the third metric is packaging. Of course, these are all based on my own personal preferences, my own, wants and needs. I love every single one of these, so no matter what they score here, I really enjoy them and I use all of the fragrances that I'm gonna share with you today. So the fragrance in 5th place is this one right here, which is my Malin & Getz Dark Rum. I did actually receive this in PR through Influencer a couple years ago, so it's not one that I had picked out for myself. And I think that's probably in part why it ended up being ranked at the lowest, because it's not something that I had kind of put to the test on my own and anticipated bringing into my collection, whereas the other ones are ones that I was a little bit more critical of. But that is not to say that this is not a nice fragrance. This is something that feels very warm. I think it's a perfect kind of wintry scent. It is very full, and its key notes are plum, rum, and amber. So it is very, very warm and kind of spicy as well. I did give this a 3 out of 5 for the scent because I kind of wish that it had some element of sweetness or some element that felt a little bit more feminine or softer in some capacity, because I do feel like this can be a little overwhelming. So I gave it a 3 out of 5. But like I said, I still do really enjoy it. For lasting power, I gave it a 4 because it does stick around very well. Oftentimes I do feel like I want to layer this with something actually that is a little bit on the sweeter, softer, maybe powdery or vanilla kind of side, just to make it more of my personal preference. And then for packaging, I also only gave it a 3 because although this is sturdy, durable, very usable packaging, it just isn't as exciting and as interesting as some of my other fragrances. This packaging is very utilitarian, which is common in the Malin & Getz brand anyways, so I don't think it's bad packaging. I just kind of feel like I would be potentially more drawn to it and more in love with it if it had something a little bit more of interest visually to me. So it had a grand total of 10 out of 15 on the scoreboard. That's still a great score, but it is definitely not a perfect 15 like my top one has. In 4th place, we have my Sol de Janeiro Brazilian Crush Hair and Body Mist. So this is not technically labeled as a perfume, but it is a fragrance kind of item. And so of course I needed to bring it into the ranking. As you can see, I've used quite a lot of it. So it is something that I reach for on the regular. The scent profile in this is salted caramel, pistachio, and vanilla, and it is an incredible scent. It is something that I'm sure many of you are familiar with if you've ever tried Boom Boom Cream or any number of products from Sol de Janeiro. This fragrance is iconic for a reason. It has this mix of sweet and just tasty kind of scents, but it also has this element that is a little indiscernible and sexy and intriguing as well. I think it's that like salted caramel, that mix of sweet with salty. I love it. I'm very drawn to it, and of course it got a 5 out of 5 in the scent category for me. For lasting power, because this is not technically a perfume, I shouldn't really fault it, but I only gave it a 3 out of 5 because the scent does seem to dissipate pretty quickly. Personally, I can't spray it directly onto my skin, which I do think would give it a little bit more longevity, but I've talked about it in the past. I have a fragrance allergy, so I always spray my fragrances onto my clothes, and I think they just don't hold the scent the same way that your skin does. So it got a 3 out of 5 in that category. And then for packaging, I think the packaging does the job just fine, but I gave it a 3 out of 5 because this is, again, a little bit more utilitarian. It's kind of a little bit bulky as well. Like the cap is incredibly massive. It does make it easy to take off the lid, I suppose, but I don't know. I just feel like it could be a little bit more interesting, a little bit more visually appealing. And so it got a 3 out of 5. It does the job. The spray on it still seems to be in perfect condition, even though I have used so much. And overall, I can't fault the packaging. It's just, I wish it was a little bit more. You know what I mean? And so the grand total of the score for Sol de Janeiro is 11 out of 15. In 3rd place, we have a fragrance that has never been actually in the background of my video, and that's because it's a brand new bottle to me. However, this is not the first time that I have had this fragrance in my life. This is the Pacifica Indian Coconut Nectar perfume. I actually received this in PR from the brand, which is just so exciting. I've actually previously gone through an entire one of these. I've gone through the hair and body mist. I've gone through so many products in this fragrance because I love and adore it. So I actually did receive the hair and body mist from them as well, but I decided to omit it from today's ranking because they are the exact same fragrance. So I felt like it was a little bit redundant to have in both. Overall, I love this fragrance, as you know. I'm sure you can tell based on the fact that I have had a full repertoire of different types of products with this fragrance. The scent is sweet, but sophisticated all at once. It contains coconut, vanilla, and vetiver, and it just feels like grown up but playful, and it's very tasty. It's quite delicious kind of smelling, but without being like sickly, like something that smells like candy or like sweets or treats, you know what I mean? I had to give this a 5 out of 5 on the scent spectrum because I love and adore this. This is one fragrance that I actually often get complimented on when I'm wearing it. In my opinion, this scent is very feminine. Perhaps it's because of that vanilla, but it doesn't have any elements that are like your typical feminine scents, which are generally floral. I personally don't tend to vibe with floral sorts of scents. You'll notice that within all of these fragrances I have here, but this one does not have the most long-lasting power. I gave it a 4 out of 5, so yeah, like 80%. It does last for a couple hours, but it does seem to dissipate and not really leave behind any sort of discernible scent. But whenever I'm wearing this, I do notice it for those first few hours and I feel just super happy. Ever since I got this back in my life, I've worn it pretty much every single time I've worn fragrance because it feels so nice to have this back in the rotation. And I love just getting a little whiff of it. It just feels so comforting. It feels so familiar as well. It's a really beautiful fragrance. And for packaging, I did give this one a 4 out of 5. It could have been like a 3.5 to 4, to be honest, because I don't like that it doesn't come with a lid, so it doesn't make it very easy to transport. It seems a little bit sketchy to transport it without a lid. There is a risk that you would end up kind of spilling it. But I think the packaging is super cute. Otherwise, I love the pattern on it. I've always felt very drawn to this kind of packaging from Pacifica. It is nice and sturdy glass, and overall it does the job just fine. I just wish there was a lid, so that's where it lost some points in that category. And so this one got a score of 13 out of 15. So now we have the fragrance in second place, the runner-up, which is my Penrose Secret Genius. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. It contains notes of caramel, vanilla, and sandalwood. And so it has this mixture of sweet, feminine, soft, but also mixed with the masculine sandalwood. And it's just a very immersive kind of scent. I really love this scent in the summertime. It feels very fresh. It feels really approachable to me as well. I really, really enjoy this fragrance a lot. I've had this in my collection for a couple years now. It is one that I did purchase on my own and I love it. I wear it very, very frequently. However, in the most recent months, now that it's gotten a bit cooler, I haven't found myself quite as drawn to it because number one has taken its place for the winter months. So in terms of its ranking for scent, it scored a perfect 5. I cannot fault this fragrance whatsoever. In terms of lasting power, it did get a 4. And that is because I do find that this does dissipate on me. I oftentimes take this bottle out and about with me whenever I am wearing this fragrance so that I can touch it up, because I do often find that after a few hours of wear, maybe a little bit more prolonged, maybe like 4 or 5 hours of wear, I don't seem to notice it on my skin anymore. And then for packaging, it got a perfect 5 because I just think this is the most adorable packaging. Penrose really does it well with their packaging. I just think this is beautiful. It's so beautiful. It feels very luxurious, but it also is just something that's playful as well, in my opinion. And I love that the cap is so sturdy. Like I said, I can actually throw it in my bag because it's super, super secure. I've never worried that this was going to break in my bag, even though it is glass. So it got a perfect 5, bringing it to a grand total of 14 out of 15 on the score. And so that brings us to first place in this ranking with a perfect score, we have another Penrose scent. It is Gilded Fox right here. This fragrance has quickly become my favorite, our household favorite. It's just incredible. This scent is incredible. I did receive this in PR from Penrose. It was something that I had picked out and let them know that I was interested in trying. And thank goodness that I picked it out because I have fallen in freaking love with this. My fiance also wears this on the regular. This morning he sprayed it before he went into work. It's something that is very unisex in our opinion. It feels very warm and comforting and sexy. It has cocoa spice, it has buttered rum and amber, and it's just so well balanced and impeccable. I truly wish that smell-o-vision was a thing because this is just beautiful. This is beautiful. This is something that I can't get enough of. I absolutely love it, and I have been wearing it almost habitually, except when I did end up getting the Indian coconut nectar like within this last week, I kind of switched over to that fragrance. But I've been wearing this so much lately because it feels warm and cozy and it feels indulgent as well. I just love it. So it got a perfect 5% because it cannot be beat. It got a perfect 5 for lasting power because this is something that it seems to just stay on my clothing and in my hair so well. I'll have been wearing it for hours and other people around me will note that my fragrance smells amazing. And so that is a really good sign of the lasting power, is like when I have forgotten that I'm wearing it and somebody says, wow, you smell good. That's how you know that the lasting power is there. And then it got a perfect 5 because just like the other Penrose, I adore this packaging. They have moved to this clear version of the same packaging. And I just think it looks so chic. It looks so fun. It looks so cute. I just love it. The lid is super secure, same thing as the other one. It feels like you can take it on the go because it's not super heavy, but it's extremely durable. And so yeah, she got a 15 out of 15 because she's just perfect. And so that is all 5 of my full-size fragrances that I have in my current collection. I do have some little samplers, which are ones that I'm just not generally that familiar with, or things that maybe aren't my personal preferences. So I didn't want to bring them into today's video and overwhelm this video by talking about tiny, tiny samplers. But I do want to work on those throughout my non-makeup project pan, and I can share with you my thoughts and opinions on them through that project, as well as in my empties when I do work my way through them. But these are kind of just my core collection. These are the 5 fragrances that I feel like really embody my personal preferences, something that is very warm, something that feels maybe a little bit more unisex or androgynous, things that have that vanilla sweetness, that comfort, that familiarity as well. That is my personal preference. So those tones were running throughout all of the fragrances that we spoke about today. Thank you so much to Ana Luisa for sponsoring today's video. It is a privilege to work with them, and I want to say a huge thank you to all of you for allowing me to kind of give this space on my channel and for giving me these sort of opportunities as well by supporting me in every way that you do. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed hearing some of my opinions on my fragrance collection, getting to know my fragrance collection a little bit more. But yeah, that is a wrap on today's video. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone.